All right, so here it is. I've got my stock protein that is 10 micrograms per microliter. I've got a total of 6 microcentrifuge tubes. What I'm going to do is take varying volumes from my stock and put it into each one of these microcentrifuge tubes with the intention of using smaller volumes of protein in each one of my 6 different samples. So what I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to keep the total volume constant across all of them. So my very first sample I've prepared by collecting 20 microliters of my pancreatin and putting it in here. Okay, so I'm going to put a cap on this one. My hot plate is still heating up, so I've got a little bit of time to work with. The next volume that I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this down to 15 microliters. So I'm taking 15 microliters from my stock and transferring all 15 microliters to the second microcentrifuge tube. So I have 15 microliters. I have therefore a total of 150 micrograms of protein in that sample. So I have 4 more. I'm going to go 10 microliters on my next one, then 8, 5, and 2. Okay, so 10 microliters. Ten microliters is done. Next is 8 microliters. Eight microliters is done. The next one is 5 microliters. So 5 microliters. And the last one is 2 microliters. Okay, now what I am going to do for each one of these samples, however, is I'm going to adjust the volume by adding water to bring them all to a total volume of 20 microliters. So what that means is I have 15, 10, 8, 5, and 2 microliters. So what I'm going to do is adjust my pipettement. I've also got this one right here that has water in it. Adjust my pipettement to 5 microliters. Transfer water from there into my sample that has 15 microliters of protein. Next one is I'm going to adjust my pipettement to 10 microliters. So now I have in these first 3 samples a total volume of 20 microliters. Now I'm going to adjust the volume to 12 microliters because this next sample has 8 microliters of my protein. Now it has a total volume of 20 microliters. Next is 15. The last one is 18 microliters of water will be transferred to the last microcentrifuge tube. Okay, so the purpose of this is, since we didn't purify a protein, I wanted to demonstrate what SDS PAGE will show you. We have different quantities of protein in each one of these samples. This first one is 20 microliters of our 10 microgram per microliter stock. So that means there's 200 micrograms of protein. This is 15 microliters of that stock. That means we have 150 micrograms of protein. 120 micrograms of protein, 80 micrograms of total protein, 50 micrograms of total protein, and 20 micrograms of total protein. We are going to look at all of these as they will, or we're going to look at all of these protein samples on a SDS page and see basically what does 20 micrograms of total protein look like? What does 200 micrograms of total protein? It basically asking the question, not only what does it look like, but is there too much protein to load to a sample, and have we encountered that? Now, the next thing that I do is I'm going to take my 4x buffer, and I'm going to add, I guess that would be, let's see, if you have the, I'm going to add 5 microliters of my 4x buffer to each one of these samples. And by doing that, what's in here? You've got your sodium dodecyl sulfate, beta mercaptoethanol. Sodium, and it's I believe it's like a pH of 6 or so, so it's an acidic environment. So we've changed the pH with this buffer. We've also introduced the reducing agent, beta mercaptoethanol, so we'll break those disulfide bonds. And as you can see, that protein sample is now purple. So this has all of our necessary denaturing agents and that SDS so we can apply a uniform negative charge across our protein. Now, when it comes to ultimately what does this look like, or what are we doing? We're denaturing all the proteins that are in this mixture. The final kind of important step to all this is, well, we're going to heat it up. Right now my heating block is at 86.9 degrees Celsius. So give it another couple minutes and it will be up to the 95 or the 98 that I'm looking for. And look at that, 87.5. It is flying along.